Mr. Speaker, in contributing to this debate, I'm reminded by my grandmother's proverb to my friends opposite the aisle that when you are pounding fufu for a blind person, the best way to assure the blind person you are not eating the fufu is to be whistling. I'm sure they want us to whistle. What it is the achievement of President John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, 2025 was a correctional year for President Mahama and the Honorable Atu-Forson. Correctional because, Mr. Speaker, Nana Addo Dankwa and the MPP heavily damaged the Ghanaian economy, put Ghanaian businesses into distress. Unemployment was high, inflation 54 to 23%, public debt rose up to 726 billion, which was about 61% of GDP, now down to 630 billion. So, Mr. Speaker, President Mahama and Dr. Atu-Forson have demonstrated that we are better managers of the economy. The amount of money that this side spent on servicing debt is less today, and that assures the Gen Zs or young people of a future that they will not be overtaxed tomorrow in order to pay for some outstanding debt of an elephant appetite borrowing government which went on a borrowing spree. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Atu-Forson has also demonstrated Ghana has borrowed less in 2025 than any other period in the last 10 years. It means that we are making our debt sustainable. And Mr. Speaker, as he rightly announced, Ghana will exit the IMF in June. They were those who said they didn't even believe in the IMF, yet they ended up with a calabash in the IMF, begging for them to come and discipline them in the management of the economy. But, Mr. Speaker, in contributing to this budget, I'd like to speak to just 4 themes. One on my sector, education. Mr. Speaker, sufficient allocation have been made to the Ministry of Education to deal with education infrastructure expansion. Paragraph 462, Mr. Speaker, an amount of 33.3 billion allocated to the Ministry of Education for 2026, 4.2 billion of it, Mr. Speaker, is to implement the free senior high school introduced by the previous government and to expand it. Mr. Speaker, what they failed to do between 2018 and 2024 was expanding infrastructure to accommodate the increases in numbers in those free senior high schools. That President Mahama will fix, and he will fix it with the conversion of at least 30 Category C schools to B and 10 Category B schools to A, and expand the infrastructure in a number of Category A schools across the country. We will be guided by equity in the determination of those initiatives. Mr. Speaker, this year 537 million have been allocated for no fee stress policy. Mr. Speaker, the most impactful initiative of President Mahama, reaching out to young people who otherwise could have not had the opportunity to taste higher education because of poverty or the inability of their parents to do so. And Mr. Speaker, even members of parliament must be those who first should commend the president, because this 537 million would have come back to members of parliament paying those fees on behalf of those first-year students who are unable to do it. President Mahama is absorbing it with 537 million. Significant number of tertiary students benefited from it, including persons with disability, who for the first time have been given 25 million for free tertiary education. Mr. Speaker, a while ago, a colleague of mine debated on sanitary pads, but what he failed to appreciate is that there is evidence even from the World Bank, increased absenteeism of girls without access to sanitary pads are more likely to miss school, leading to learning gaps and reduced classroom participation. You can refer to SOMA 2015. Lower academic performance of those girls, World Bank 2021, and then reduced confidence. Mr. Speaker, on this floor, I heard many of them argue that why is the president allocating 290 million for sanitary pads and 100 million for jobs? If those young girls don't get educated, they would not even be qualified for those jobs you are talking about. So, Mr. Speaker, this intervention is to assure them of consistency, to remain in the classroom. A while ago, Mr. Speaker, a colleague of mine arguing on sanitary pads chose to do chop bar arithmetics. He just took the number of 6.6 million first batch of sanitary pads supplied and came to the conclusion that government was procuring sanitary pads as 45 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, that is palpable falsehood. The total number of sanitary pads being procured by government is 12,208 at 292 million. Not for him to just take 6.6 million and divide it by 292 million and come to the conclusion that one of it is costing 45. Mr. Speaker, into this year, under President Mohammed's reset, we will expand access to higher education. Damangu, the President has dedicated his award of Chinese support of $27.31 million for a science technology university to begin in Damangu. A number of technical universities, one in Dambai and a science and technology university in Jessica and Damangu will take off this year. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Education Trust Fund has an allocation of 9.9 billion. Out of it, some 360 million will go into the completion of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Teaching Hospital, so that the university will have a functional, operational hospital to support the teaching of medicine. That will be done in the course of this year. Mr. Speaker, then they argue that they were superior managers of the economy. We're here when you came, debt exchange. President Nana Addo Dankwa himself, speaking in Brussels, was confronted with the reality when he said his darkest hour was subjecting this country to a debt exchange. The country is not out of the woes of its economic mismanagement that deteriorated even the performance of the city. So, Mr. Speaker, in respect of basic education, a number of junior high schools will be built across the country because there are many communities where 15, 20 communities cluster have access only to one junior high school. The Minister for Finance announces in this budget some work will begin on some 200 junior high schools across the country. Mr. Speaker, some 2 billion has been allocated for that. In addition to that, 200 kindergartens and 400 4-unit teacher bungalows. Mr. Speaker, we are currently in discussion with the District Assembly Common Fund, the GET Fund, and using the pension fund of GSOP, the Ghana Education Pension Fund, to begin the construction of 50,000 housing units for teachers under President Mohammed's Teacher Dabre initiative. Very soon, the President will cut sword for it. That, Mr. Speaker, when they talk about jobs, whether it's big push of infrastructure of roads, that creates jobs, whether the job is in a highway or in a road. Mr. Speaker, I've heard my colleague who just landed talking about 24-hour economy. Sooner than later in the coming days, the Honorable Majority Leader will lay the 24-hour economy bill. It has since been gazetted and will come to this House. A revised GIPC Act to make Ghana a friendly country for business will also be laid before this House to give meaning to President Mahama to make Ghana an investment destination. Mr. Speaker, permit me also to highlight on the MPP and Free Senior High School, as I said. Currently, Mr. Speaker, government will spend 4.2 billion on the feeding for Free Senior High School. What President Mahama have done is to amend the GET Fund Act. I'm sure the chairman of the Finance Committee will do what is needful and appropriate. Under the amendment of the GET Fund, 3 interventions of President Mahama. 1, we are guaranteeing dedicated funding for Free Senior High School. We are further guaranteeing dedicated funding for free tertiary education for all persons with disability. We are further guaranteeing free education for all learners with special needs, including the Akropong School of the Blind. That, when the amendment takes place, will give effect to that.